Good girl, Dolly. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Against All Odds. Seriously though, I appreciate you guys watching the videos and subscribing. It does mean a lot. I get all kinds of text messages and positive comments below the videos, and I enjoy the feedback. So I love tracking. There's nothing better than the dog, you know, on the other end of the lead, finding the deer and yelling back like, "Hey, we got him!" You know, and the hooping and hollering and jumping up and down, because when people, most of the time when people call, you know, they've already looked, they can't find blood, you know, they know they made a bad shot, they're sick to their stomach, you know, that kind of stuff, and they don't have much hope. And you know, we have, you know, most of the time, you know, a lot of people assume, you know, when they shoot their deer, like, oh, I know it's dead, and a lot of times that's not the case. 9 times out of 10, if you're calling a dog because you can't find it on your own, it's usually not a good sign. And with the weather, coyotes pushing them, people pushing the deer, all kinds of different, you know, like the weather or people tracking and grid searching, a ton of other animals being in the woods. There's a lot of things that can mess up the trail for the dog too. And like I said, most of the time, you know, if you need a dog, it's not a good thing. You know, that's why I call our tracking service you know, against all odds, because the odds are always against us. But anyway, we got 2 calls today. The first, they both sounded good, but the first one, I wasn't too sure about. I had a hunch that it was an intestinal hit, because he watched the deer stand there for an hour straight, never really moved, never walked anymore, never bedded down there, and then eventually just kind of walked away, and he lost sight of it. So timber tracked, advanced at about 200. That's a pile of deer. Timber advanced the track about 200 yards before letting me know that that we were pushing an alive deer. So we advanced the track for roughly another 200 or 300 yards from that point, and didn't find any more blood, no more beds. Didn't see the deer, obviously. So, you know, I told him, you know, more than likely it is intestinal, and, you know, the deer might survive it, or it might take several days, you know, for him to expire. So we went to track number 2, and the hunter said the deer was broadside, which is never the case, but you know, when we found the deer, it wasn't. It was quarter 2, but the hunter felt that it was broadside. He said, you know, hit pretty much center mass. The deer ran 50 yards, stood there for a minute, and then walked away, and then he lost sight of it too shortly after it walked away. So it wasn't too far of a walk in, and we had enough daylight left, so I wanted to get Dolly on her first recovery. So we took Dolly out, thinking, you know, if she wasn't tracking the way that I wanted her to, or I felt that she should be, or what she's capable of, I was going to take her back and let Timber finish out the track. But the hunter only had blood right where he started, right where he shot the deer at. Took a couple steps, couldn't find any more blood. It was snowing really hard, so it was already starting to cover up the blood. It was starting to fill in the tracks of the deer already. So he just backed out and called us. So Dolly got the track, sniffed the arrow up and down real good, and that's actually a good sign for a tracking dog, is when a dog actually sniffs up and down the arrow, getting all the different scents on it. And then took off the exact path that he said the deer went. Got to roughly where the deer had stopped and stood there for a while. He was saying that there'd be a good bit of sign there, and there wasn't. There was like 2 drops of blood. And then Dolly turned, I believe she turned to the left a little bit, went out some more, and found a little puddle, as you call, about the size of your hand, area of blood. And then kind of circled around that area once or twice there, and she seemed to have lost it right there. So I was trying to walk her around and help her pick it back up, and the hunter was like, well, I don't think he went too much to the left here, because I have a cell camera right there and it wasn't too far from us, and he said that it never got a picture of the deer, or at least never sent it to him or anything like that. So I'm like, okay. I took Dolly back about halfway, back to where that bigger puddle blood is that she found, to restart her there. Restarted, she took basically the same path again, got lost in the same point, and they just happened to be looking over by the cell cam, or looking at the cell cam, pulled up the binos, and could see the deer laying like 20 yards behind the camera. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's why she's losing it at this point. That deer cut back and did a very hard cut back and went basically the same direction that he came from, and then split off to the right then and went behind the camera. So as soon as I just turned Dolly around and put her on the same trail that we were already on, she backtracked it, and then instead of staying to the left where we had come up, she did cut off to the right then, and it took us straight to the deer. So she did very well. She just kind of missed the backtrack, which in a young dog, most of the time they're going to. So, and this was also her first time tracking in snow, which snow's not a bad thing. It doesn't really affect the track in a negative way. It's just different for the dog. So I was very proud of her. And that deer ran a total, from the hit site to where he died at was maybe 100 yards, but in total the deer ran like 200 to 250 yards. So, you know, there was not much blood at all from the hit site till the spot where, like, we had that bigger puddle, and then from that puddle till the deer was another 60 yards roughly, and there was no blood between that and the deer. So again, like always, please like, subscribe, and share us with your friends and family. Appreciate you guys watching. Enjoy the track. Okay. Okay. Like I said, if she's not doing well, we'll take her back and get the other dog and he'll.
Like I said, as far as I went was right here.
Okay.
I couldn't see blood.
So you just left it.
So I left it go.
Okay.
What's wrong, buddy?
Track, Dolly. Track. There's some blood. Some hair here too. Where, Dolly?
That was about 40 feet.
Okay.
They said it was snowing like crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take her back. She lost them somewhere. Oh, never mind. Well, she's smelling a little bit bigger spot now, but come on, Dolly, track. Come on, let's go. Come on. Leave it. Leave it. Let's go. Track. Come on, Dolly. Come back this way. Search. Search. Come on. What's that?
We got a camera over there.
Oh.
We didn't get a picture this morning of him.
Must have stayed just out of range. Got pee again? Come on. Come on. Finish it out. Let's go. Come on. Dolly, come on. Leave it. Good girl, Dolly. Good girl. Good girl, Dolly. Good girl. Good girl. Alright, leave that alone. You're not keeping the hide or nothing?
No.
Okay.
Well, he had to get one mounted here the other week. And
Good girl.
I'm not allowed to put no more up.
My wife says the same thing. The basement's getting too full. She goes, "You're only 27. How we're gonna run out of room."
I tell you what, around home we had some really big deer. I just like hunting up here. Oh, you're back.
Yep. Hold back.
Okay, come in this way then.
Yes.
Okay.
Forward away a little bit.
Must have been moving a little more than I thought. Good dog. You're a good dog. You are.
Good girl.
You're a good dog.
I don't know if she's gonna.
Oh, hey, I've been bit by bigger dogs than you. Good deal.